Welcome back to Barn and Soul, where we talk about animals, connection, and the quiet power of the natural world. I am Kendall, and I am so glad you're here. Today, I'm going to talk about something that's at the very heart of what we're doing at Dalby Farm. It's something many of us don't even realize we're missing until we feel it again, and that's our connection to nature, to animals, to something deeper and older than ourselves. This episode is called Reconnecting with What We've Forgotten. For most of human history, we've lived with the land, not just on it. We've hunted, gathered, farmed, and raised animals, not just for food, but for survival, ritual, companionship, and even joy. We've built our calendars around the seasons. We listened to bird song, followed rhythms of migration, of blooming and harvest. We saw ourselves as part of nature, not separate from it. There's this concept called biophilia, coined by the American biologist E.O. Wilson. It means that humans have an innate connection to nature and living things, that we are actually wired to seek it out. It's why being outside feels healing, why animals calm us down, and why children, even today, light up when they meet a goat or feed a chicken for the very first time. Over time, our world has changed. We moved into cities. We built roads and walls and screens. And slowly, our relationship with nature shifted from something intimate to something distant. Today, the average American spends over 90% of their time indoors, according to the Environmental Protection Agency. And children, a study by the National Trust in the UK found that kids now spend less time outdoors than prison inmates, often less than an hour a day. At the same time, we've seen a rise in anxiety, depression, and attention challenges. While correlation isn't causation, many researchers believe that disconnection from nature is playing a significant part. We've built a world that's fast-paced, overstimulated, and, let's be honest, often overwhelming. And in the process, we've forgotten the calm that comes from sitting under a tree, the joy of watching a bird build its nest, or the sense of purpose that comes from caring for another creature. At Dalby Farm, we try to restore that connection. We care for the rare and endangered animals, yes, but our deeper mission is to share them, to introduce people, especially children, to the kind of quiet, meaningful interaction that's harder and harder to come by. When a child holds a baby chick or laughs at a goat's silly moves, something happens. They stop. They notice. They feel wonder. And that feeling, it matters. Because children who build empathy with animals are more likely to grow into adults who respect and protect the environment. Nature-based education isn't just about fun. It's about shaping stewards of our earth. In fact, a 2019 review published in Frontiers in Psychology showed that kids who engage in nature-based learning tend to have a better academic outcome, stronger emotional resilience, and more pro-social behaviors. Let me say that again. Being around nature and animals doesn't just help kids feel better, it helps them be better. It changes them. This matters more than ever, and here's why. According to the UN, 1 million species are currently at risk of extinction. That's not just animals in far off places. This includes breeds we work with at Dalby every day: Arapara goats, American chinchilla rabbits, heritage poultry. If children don't know they exist, they won't miss them. And if they don't miss them, they won't fight for them. But if they get to meet them, if they fall in love with them, if they learn their names and stories and sounds, we might just have a chance. And so will those animals. Look, not everyone can live on a farm. Not everyone should. Not every child will grow up feeding goats or gathering eggs as a daily ritual. But every child deserves to know that they're part of this earth. They're not above it. They need to know that they're not separate from nature. They're connected to it. And animals are often the bridge to that understanding. This is why nature-based programs matter. This is why what we do at Dalby matters, because we're not just protecting rare and endangered farm breeds. We're protecting the relationship between people and our natural world. And that relationship is where empathy lives. It's where healing happens, and it's where the future gets built. If you're still with me, thank you. This is a conversation I feel like we do not have enough. How disconnected we've become, and how much is at stake if we don't find our way back. So let's keep going, because this story is far from over. A farm is not just a place, it's a feeling. Sometimes people come to Dalby and they say, "This place feels different." And I think what they're sensing is our intention, because we don't just run a farm, we share it. We don't just own animals, we raise awareness. Every paddock, every enclosure, every sign, it's all rooted in a mission to reconnect people with what we've forgotten. And in many ways, farms like ours are becoming rare in and of itself, not just because of the breeds we've got, but because of the values we are trying to preserve. We prioritize slowness. We encourage silliness. We welcome curiosity and questions and muddy boots. And when kids visit, especially toddlers, you see that shift happen. It may be chaotic at times, but there's excitement. Tiny shoes running in every direction. Somewhere between petting a goat or holding a warm egg, they pause, they notice, and their world gets just a little bit bigger. Not to mention, there's something powerful about the sensory nature of animals and farm life. The warmth of the rabbit's fur, the tickle of a chick's feet, the earthy smell of hay. These aren't just cute moments. They're actually deeply grounding experiences. In fact, studies in developmental psychology have shown that hands-on interaction with animals improves emotional regulation in children. Kids learn to be gentle, to observe, to be patient, to slow down. In a world of touch screens and instant gratification, real touch, gentle, intentional, respectful touch. It matters. And when a child learns to respect a fragile creature, they're learning to navigate the world with more compassion. And when they realize that their actions can bring comfort to another living being, that's a seed you can't really unplant. Unplant? Is that a word? If we don't invest in this kind of programming, if we don't create these moments of connection, then the stories die with the animals, and the empathy dies with the stories. You can't ask people to protect something they've never had a reason to love. That's why Dalby exists. Not just to save rare breeds, but to save the relationship between people and animals before it's too late. We are not in the business of animal care, per se. We're in the business of future building. Because a child who bonds with a farm animal today might grow up to be a vet, or a conservationist, or just someone who treats life more gently. And we need more of those people in this world. So much of what we call progress has pulled us away from something essential. We have made everything clean and efficient and convenient, but in doing so, we've lost a piece of ourselves. That wild, curious, compassionate part of us that remembers what it's like to care for a baby goat, to listen for bird calls, to feel safe in the quiet of trees. Nature-based programming isn't some quaint trend. It's a way of remembering, reclaiming, repairing. And if we want a future that feels more connected, more sustainable, more whole, we have to start by creating opportunities to feel nature again, to witness it, touch it, to be a part of it. So maybe this episode isn't really about animals or farms or rare breeds. Maybe it's about remembering who we are underneath the noise and realizing that the most important thing we can do for the next generation is give them the chance to care deeply about something real, to fall in love with a goat, to learn patience from a bunny, to giggle at a duck's ridiculous waddle, to feel like they belong, not just in society, but in nature itself. That's what we're trying to do here. And if you've ever felt that connection, I'm really glad you're with us right now. Thank you for listening. And if you want to support our mission, share this podcast, follow us on social media, and come visit us at dalbyfarm.com. Our country store has something for everybody. Until next time, take care and don't forget to appreciate the rare and wonderful things in life.